1605-4/11/2025. Microsoft Copilot, Richard Bruce, Dick Cheney, B. January 30th, 1941, D's November 3rd, 2025, was an American politician who served as the 46th Vice President of the United States from January 20th, 2001 to January 20th, 2009. He was one of the most powerful advocates and implementers of the neoconservative ideology in the world. Born on January 30th, 1941, in Lincoln, Nebraska, Cheney married Lynn Vincent in 1964. They had two daughters, Elizabeth and Mary. Although he was of draft age during the Vietnam War, he repeatedly deferred his military service and did not participate in the conflict. In 1975, during President Gerald Ford's administration, Cheney became the youngest White House Chief of Staff in U.S. history. In 1978, he was elected to Congress from the state of Wyoming and was re-elected 5 times, serving until 1989. From March 1989 to January 1993, he served as Secretary of Defense under President George H.W. Bush, overseeing the Panama invasion and the Gulf War. Between 1995 and 2000, Cheney returned to the private sector and became CEO of Halliburton. He ran alongside George W. Bush in the 2000 presidential election and won, serving as vice president from 2001 to 2009. During his tenure, Cheney played a highly active and influential role, particularly in shaping U.S. foreign and defense policy. His vice presidency coincided with the peak of neoconservative influence globally. On September 11, 2001, while President Bush was away from the White House, Cheney took charge of crisis management from the presidential bunker. He reportedly gave the order to shoot down any non-responsive aircraft without consulting the president. It was also claimed that Cheney received CIA intelligence briefings before the president during his time as vice president. After retiring on May 21, 2009, Cheney gave a speech at the American Enterprise Institute, AEI, a neoconservative think tank where his wife served on the board. He argued that the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were vital for Israel's security and defended the necessity of the Guantanamo Bay detention facility. Cheney was widely regarded by the American public as the most powerful vice president in modern U.S. history. He passed away at home on the night of November 3, 2025, at the age of 84, due to complications from pneumonia and vascular disease, surrounded by his family. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, or if you want it adapted for a specific format like a video script or article. 1605-04/11/2025. Microsoft Copilot. Absolutely. Here's the English version of Dick Cheney's biography based on what you shared. Richard Bruce. Dick Cheney, A Life of Power and Controversy. Richard Bruce Cheney, born January 30th, 1941, died November 3rd, 2025, was an American politician who served as the 46th Vice President of the United States from January 20th, 2001 to January 20th, 2009. He was one of the most prominent advocates and enforcers of the neoconservative ideology on the global stage. Born in Lincoln, Nebraska, Cheney married Lynn Vincent in 1964 and had 2 daughters, Elizabeth and Mary. Despite being of draft age during the Vietnam War, he deferred military service multiple times and did not serve. In 1975, under President Gerald Ford, Cheney became the youngest White House Chief of Staff in U.S. history. He was elected to Congress from Wyoming in 1978 and served 5 terms. From March 1989 to January 1993, he was Secretary of Defense under President George H.W. Bush, overseeing the Panama invasion and the Gulf War. Between 1995 and 2000, Cheney entered the private sector as CEO of Halliburton. He returned to politics as George W. Bush's running mate in the 2000 presidential election. As vice president, Cheney played an unusually active and influential role in shaping U.S. foreign and defense policy, especially during the post-9/11 era. He was known for his decisive actions, including ordering the shoot-down of unidentified aircraft during the 9/11 attacks without consulting President Bush. Reports claim Cheney received CIA briefings before the president, highlighting his deep involvement in intelligence matters. After retiring, Cheney remained vocal. In a 2009 speech at the American Enterprise Institute, he defended the Iraq and Afghanistan wars as essential to Israel's security and supported the continued operation of Guantanamo Bay. He was widely regarded as the most powerful vice president in modern U.S. history. Cheney died at home on the night of November 3, 2025, at the age of 84, due to complications from pneumonia and vascular disease, surrounded by his family.